It's now time for your favorite in-depth basketball show with the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg and Raindrops. Goulet!
Welcome to another episode of Full Court Press. I am Justin, Raindrops Goulet, hanging out as always via Skype, like the last episode we did with the Nard Dogg, David Bernardi. How's it going, Nard Dogg?
It's going exciting. It's going great, man. It's going fantastic, actually.
Good, that's what I like to hear. I'm glad you're excited for this episode. We got a lot to talk about. Right now, as of this recording of Full Court Press, we're both actually watching the Cavs-Atlanta Hawks game, and the Cavs could sweep their Eastern Conference Final Series, so...
They're only up by 25 points right now in the fourth quarter.
And the Hawks have shown that they've been playing really well in this series, obviously. Honestly, I've been a little bit disappointed with Atlanta in this Eastern Conference Final Series. I know they're up against LeBron and the Cavs, but Atlanta's a good team. They had a huge...
No. They were pretenders all season. I knew it from the get-go. They had that 1 month where they won, 20 games in a row or something like that. Other than that, they've just been an average Eastern Conference team. That's it.
Wow, truth bomb from the Nard Dogg. I like that you're bringing that out. That is a good point to bring up. They did have in January where they won all those games in a row, and all the starting five for the Atlanta Hawks were named Players of the Month, which has never been done before, as far as I know. I guess maybe at the end of the day, as we're seeing in this series, the Cavs are the better team between the two, and I think the Cavs are going to win this one. I think they've got this in the bag, and I think they're going on to the NBA Finals. But I don't know. I thought the Hawks would be able to put up a little bit of a better fight. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and it looks like they're going to get knocked out tonight.
Well, there's too much injuries. DeMar Carroll got that injury, plus Kyle Korver out for the season.
Yeah, and Kyle Korver, he's their best shooter. He's the secret weapon for them.
And Game 3, when Al Horford got ejected from the game for that silly technical foul he had on Deladova.
Because the Hawks don't have that much experience. And the Cavs, this version of the Cavs, they don't really have that much experience when it comes to the postseason. But looking at all the players, they've got some good experience. LeBron is a two-time NBA champion, and he's the best basketball player on the planet.
He's going to go to his fifth straight NBA Finals. How about that?
Unbelievable. But the question is, will he capitalize on that chance to play in the finals, and will the Cavs be NBA champions when it's all said and done? I think Golden State is going to win it all this year. That's just a personal favorite of mine. I want the Warriors to win it all this year. What do you think about that?
You can never underestimate LeBron James. He's basically the best player on the planet.
Well, it's true, and even
Look what's happening. They're playing without Love, and they're playing with Kyrie Irving. That's playing 50%. He shouldn't even be playing in this game right now.
I'm surprised that Kyrie Irving's out there playing. I thought that they would just sit him down, seeing as even without Kyrie Irving, they could have advanced to the finals. I think it would have been smart to rest Kyrie Irving and have him...
They probably could have won this Game 4 without LeBron.
Oh, probably. Especially, that wouldn't have surprised me. Do you think the Cavs are going to beat the Warriors in the finals? In my opinion, it's going to be Cleveland Golden State in the NBA Finals.
There's no way Warriors lose Game 5 in Golden State.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. You look at the crowd at Oracle Arena, and just a crazy live environment. I would love to go see a game there. But the crowd is always on their feet, and that fan support has just been huge all season long. And Steph Curry, I still consider LeBron James the best basketball player on the planet, but Steph Curry
is the best shooter.
Is the best shooter on the planet. Yeah, exactly.
He's going to go down as the best shooter in NBA history, actually. So,
numbers-wise, percentage-wise,
it seems like he's broken at least 10 NBA records.
And how old is he? He's only 25, 26?
Yeah, he's around there.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's
just entering his prime right now.
Yeah, it's not like he's a 10-year NBA veteran. He's going to have an incredible NBA career, just going to get better and better, and he's already accomplished so much. He's already an MVP.
There was a scare in Game 3, though. Did you see when he hit the ground?
That was a very. I saw him on. What was it that was trending? Pray for Curry.
Pray for Curry.
Pray for Curry, everybody. This is the big issue in life. We got to pray for Stephen Curry.
But yeah, they showed a close up of his mom after, and she was just standing up, and she had her hand on her face,
just shocked. And
just
Dell,
great mom.
it's like, and Dell was nowhere to be found.
Speaking of Curry, did you hear the story about back when Steph Curry was in Toronto while his dad was playing with the Raptors? I guess Curry was playing an elementary school game. And he scored 63 points.
Yeah, I knew you were going with that. And Dell left the arena because he couldn't watch the other kids be embarrassed by his son, so he left the arena.
That's incredible.
That's phenomenal. Stephen Curry.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Dell was probably just shaking his head, like
laughing, and then he just left. He couldn't handle it. And did you see him? They posted a picture of the net that Stephen Curry learned how to shoot on in Virginia.
I didn't see that.
It's just an old rickety, wooden post, like one of those old rusty nets. You think of the movie Hoosiers, and you just picture like a basketball net from that movie that they're playing on outside. That's the kind of net that Steph Curry learned how to shoot on in Virginia, actually.
And let's switch it up. Let's talk about the Raptors.
Oh, I don't even know if I want to talk about the Raptors, but I guess
it's kind of a depressing thing to talk about.
Yeah, this is when full court press gets a little sad.
I remember our last full court press. I predicted they'd win in 6 against the Wizards.
I predicted that they would win. I believe I said in 5 games against the Wizards.
Yikes!
So we were both horribly, terribly, disgustingly wrong because the Raptors. Honestly, like being serious about this, the Raptors played some of the worst basketball I've ever seen a team play. And I'm someone who's very positive, who's always like, okay, they can keep their heads up. They can be happy with the way they played. They had a great regular season. But no, they had the worst postseason I've seen in years from any team.
Yeah, and it all started halfway into the season. That you remember that Western Conference or that Western road trip where they were playing Golden State, and Portland was part of that. There's a couple other good teams.
Yeah.
In that trip, and that's basically when it all started. This was like just before the All-Star break, and then they just collapsed. They start the season 24-7. They finish it off 25-26.
Yeah, especially after the All-Star break, the Raptors, it was just all downhill from there. They had some highlights, some good moments, but for the most part, it wasn't a good.
There were some rumblings about problems in the locker room, so I wonder if that's all about.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that. Between certain players or?
Yes, certain players and maybe assistant coaches.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they have made some changes to their coaching staff. They released 2 of their assistant coaches.
They released a halftime. The guy at halftime, like his speeches during halftime.
Yep.
Hilariousness. Tom Stoner.
It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Raptors. Like, I won't be surprised if you see a lot of players going. I won't be surprised, and I know you'll love seeing a certain number 31 Terrence Ross out of a Toronto Raptors jersey. Do you want to talk about? Do you want? Is it time that we let the Nard Dogg out of the cage so he can unleash his rage upon Terrence Ross?
On our last full court press, I said the only way the Raptors win this series is if Terrence Ross shows up. What happened? He played even worse in the playoffs last year. And that was absolutely embarrassing. And I honestly, I don't want to see him in a Raptors uniform ever again. Never. I'm done. He's dead to me.
That's the hard truth right there. Wow.
I can't take him. He just did you see that Instagram post he made?
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah.
calling out the fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I remember you pointed that out to me and I checked that out.
It's not the fans' fault that you have no heart and you're mentally there's something mentally wrong in your head. He actually regressed in his third year. NBA players, they're supposed to improve, you know? What happened to him? He played even worse. Even Dwayne Casey had to bench him because he was playing so bad.
Yeah, and like the point I brought up in the last episode of FCP is that him and Jonas Valanciunas are the same year, and Valanciunas, his game has gotten way better since he was a rookie. He's improving every year.
Way better. And just Ross, he doesn't have the it factor. What Pierce was saying, he was saying up with the Raptors, they don't have the it factor, and Terrence Ross is one of the reasons why they don't have the it factor.
And that's the thing, even on the court, Terrence Ross, you could see, and I'll be brutally honest too, you can see on the court, it's almost like he doesn't care. There's no emotion on his face. He's playing lackadaisically. He doesn't.
You see in every game, he has his head down.
He has his head down. It doesn't seem like he's hustling. So I say you get rid of Terrence Ross because they can get something decent for Terrence Ross.
Honestly, right now, I think he's just worth a late first round pick, second round pick.
You know what? If that's the only deal that the Raptors could swing to get rid of Terrence Ross, I wouldn't complain about that.
Might as well try to get a small forward that actually knows what he's doing.
Exactly. One who's going to put their best foot forward, who's actually going to put some effort into it. Yeah, that's the thing about Terrence Ross. It's not. It almost looked like he didn't have any heart. And I got the sense from a lot of the players. That's what it seemed like because I watched all the Raptors playoff games. I didn't miss any of the games, but it seems like almost like the majority of the players just lost it.
The rest of their team doesn't get a free pass either.
Yeah, even someone like Lou Williams, who had just won Sixth Man of the Year.
Did you know that at his press conference there was only like maybe 3 or 4 Raptors there? I thought that was interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
maybe there was some discourse in the locker room. Maybe there was some bad blood in the locker room because if your teammate is winning the Sixth Man of the Year award, you know everybody should be there. The whole team should be there.
Amir Johnson in his end of the season presser, he said there were some personnel problems. So there you go.
Could be.
That became that was from like this season, like from the off season. Some of the players they got. So
what do you think is going to happen with Amir Johnson during the off season?
Well, obviously they need to upgrade the power forward spot. So it's either Amir Johnson accepts taking a salary, like a lesser salary, and becomes a bench player, or I guess you got to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm. I could see, from what I've seen from Amir Johnson, I could see him not being too upset about becoming a bench player because he seems to love the city of Toronto. He seems to be really passionate about living in Toronto and the whole fan interaction, the whole environment. He's got a lot of heart. He's not the best player in the world, and he never will be the best player. But
and he loves the city of Toronto.
He does, exactly. And you could sense that he loves the city of Toronto. It's not an act or anything. I could see Amir Johnson staying in Toronto because you see some players, once they get knocked out of the playoffs, they go back home. I could see Amir Johnson staying in Toronto for the summer. I don't know if that's the case, but...
Unlike Lou Williams, who took the first flight out of Toronto to Atlanta, his hometown, after season ended.
Well, that's disappointing.
But it seems like he still wants to be a Raptor.
Exactly. And Lou Williams is a good fit for the Raptors. Like, if we look at the Raptors roster, who do we want to keep? Who do we want to get rid of? Like, so let's just run down the roster and see, like, just saying yes or no to who do we want to keep.
Just name them off.
Okay, Kyle Lowry.
Lowry, I say there's been talk about the Knicks wanting to trade their 4th pick in the draft, and Lowry, he's not getting any younger. And I don't know, like, I still have faith in Lowry. Like, he's a good player. It's just there's something that happened to him, and I think he got injured, and he has too big of an ego to admit it.
That wouldn't surprise me because I love Kyle Lowry. I think he's a great player. He did a lot of really good things with the Raptors. But during the playoffs, Kyle Lowry was not Kyle Lowry.
It wasn't just the playoffs. It was the last 30, 35 games.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Kyle Lowry did not play as well as he could play.
Remember the first couple months of the season? People were talking about MVP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was in those talks. So I say, depending on... Personally, if we're just going yes or no, I say yes, keep Kyle Lowry.
Keep Kyle Lowry, yeah. I say you keep him.
There you go. DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, DeRozan you keep.
Yeah, I say keep DeMar DeRozan. So we keep Kyle Lowry, keep DeMar DeRozan. Jonas...
DeRozan was the only player in the playoffs that I thought put in any effort.
Well, exactly. I totally agree with you on that. Someone like Jonas Valanciunas, I think he put in some effort too. But DeMar DeRozan really played as best as he could in that series.
Yeah, he set a Raptors record for 20 points in a quarter in Game 4.
Yeah, so
which they obviously got blown out in.
Oh gosh,
they basically stopped after that first quarter.
That final game, Game 4, was one of I watched every Raptors game until the end, even if they're getting blown out. But I almost couldn't watch the end of that game. I almost wanted to turn the TV off and leave the room. It was
a disaster. It was broadcast on TNT, so they were getting made fun of by Kenny Smith, Shaq, Ernie Johnson, and Charles Barkley.
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Yep, that's what they said at halftime.
Yeah.
There you go. It took halftime for them to say that.
1, 2, 3, Cancun. I love that clip. As insulting as it is, it was pretty funny. But
Jonas Valanciunas. I think you do keep him.
I'd say keep him.
He still has room to grow.
Of course he does. He's only 23. He's 23 years old, 23, 24, so he's still got plenty of room to grow.
I still think his minutes need to be figured out for not playing in the second and fourth quarters of games.
Yeah, that's very confusing. Dwayne Casey needs to work on dishing out his minutes. I remember you brought that up, and it's kind of confusing.
So, who else on the
on the Rascals, the Toronto Rascals.
Who else on the roster that they got?
Okay, so we keep Kyle Lowry, keep DeMar DeRozan, keep Valanciunas, James Johnson, yes or no?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, keep 100%. Yeah,
he's a real good player when he actually gets playing time.
That's the thing. Yeah, Dwayne Casey needs to figure out this rotation. Give James Johnson.
There's Game 1 of the playoffs where the Raptors were getting their ass kicked, and the fans were chanting James Johnson.
Because James Johnson is the Raptors' best defender. And James Johnson can actually put in some good work offensively, too.
Was part of the locker room problem him? And that's why he saw no playing time?
I have no idea. I don't know if they're going to reveal that.
Yeah, that's something that we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. So James Johnson we keep. Lou Williams, yes or no?
Lou Williams is 50-50 because I don't know, because the Raptors, their ball movement was so much better last season.
You think
so? And then he comes along, and it stopped, And you look at the Atlanta Hawks this year, they won 60-plus games without Lou Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And their ball movement was incredible.
It was phenomenal.
Yes, they got exposed in the playoffs. Well, right now, they're about to get swept by the Cavs.
Yeah, they're not coming back from this. It's 106-79.
But you don't win 60 games, from a fluke.
No, not at all.
And yeah, I wouldn't say losing Lou Williams was the biggest reason, but you look at their ball movement, and Lou Williams is just a 50-50 for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to call that one. Especially since
the Raptors have never had a bench scorer like him.
Yeah.
He just comes to the game and he'll get you 20, 25 points.
Well, he's Sixth Man of the Year. There's a reason why he won it. I say keep Lou Williams. Keep him coming off the bench.
You know what? I say you keep Lou Williams, and if the same problems are still going on, you try to trade him in the deadline.
Exactly. Don't get rid of him during the offseason right away.
Just give him a shot during the season and see how team chemistry is.
Exactly. So there we go. So keep Lowry, keep DeRozan.
I guess keep Williams.
Keep Lou Williams, keep Johnson, keep Valanciunas. Okay.
I just hope Lou Williams doesn't want to get overpaid.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. All right, someone who we're going to give a nice big fat no to, your favorite player, Terrence Ross. Let's get rid of him. Let's just say it, get rid of him.
Yep, I'm praying to God that he gets traded on draft night.
Yeah, I'm on board with you on that one. I was a supporter of Terrence Ross when he got drafted, and even his rookie season.
Unfortunately, he just had ankle surgery.
That's true.
So that's kind of iffy for other teams wanting him.
We'll see how that plays out, but ideally, let's get rid of Terrence Ross. Gravis Vasquez.
Oh, you ship him out. he's I'm also not a fan of him anymore.
No.
His defense is probably the worst I've seen on the Raptors as a point guard since Jose Calderon. And honestly, I would rather have Jose Calderon on the team as a backup.
Oh, if we could somehow trade Gravis Vasquez to get Jose back, I would be ecstatic. I love Jose Calderon. His defense was not good, but he's he seems like a fun guy to be around. And he's amazing at handing out Gatorade at halftime. Every time when Jose was on the Raptors, every time they'd show the shots of them in the locker room, it'd be Jose like walking around with a tray handing out Gatorade. It was awesome.
Yeah, Gravis Vasquez, I say a big no to. I think a guy that I'd like to see the Raptors attempt to go after is Corey Joseph, the Brampton native.
That would be cool. Corey Joseph, his dad is actually, I'm not sure if he still is the coach with, or he was the coach of the Mississauga Power.
Really?
Yeah. Who is that? Somebody's down. Oh, Shelvin Mack is down.
Oh.
Live commentary. But by the time this goes up online, this won't be very live.
And it would suck if this is like a really bad injury because there's only 2 minutes left of his season.
That would be terrible. I don't want to see that. I don't want that on any player.
But yeah, back to Vasquez.
Back to Vasquez.
I think the Raptors need a backup point guard that plays defense that you can rely on and that can hit shots, and that's Corey Joseph.
And it would be a sweet homecoming for Corey Joseph.
Yeah, it would be an actual decent Canadian player. No offense, Jamal Magloire. Coming to Toronto and doing well. And the fact that he's played under Popovich for the past few seasons.
Oh no, I was just about to bring that up. The fact that he's been with the Spurs his entire career.
Indeed.
Is phenomenal. He was coached by one of the best coaches in sports history, Greg Popovich. So I think that's a good move. That would be a great call.
And Joseph, he's not the only point guard that they should look at. But I think Vasquez needs to just leave.
So we get rid of Vasquez. All right, moving down the line, Tyler Hansbrough. Do we keep Hansbrough or get rid of him?
I say get rid of him.
Get rid of him?
Psycho T has had his moments, but I think the Raptors could do a lot better getting someone else.
Getting another tough guy in there.
Yeah.
All right, so get rid of Tyler Hansbrough. Amir Johnson. I say if the price is right, we can afford to get rid of Amir. I'm a huge fan of Amir's, and like we were saying, he loves the city of Toronto. It's very apparent that he does. But if the price is right, we can get rid of Amir Johnson.
Yeah, only way I say keep him is if he's a bench player and accepts lesser money.
We'll just have to see what happens if he is actually down for that. What about Patrick Patterson, Patman?
Oh, you keep him.
Yeah.
I know, I like him.
Damn right.
He was the Raptors' second best player in the playoffs.
Patman, I'm totally up for keeping Patrick Patterson. So let's keep Patrick Patterson. And now we're kind of going into more of the bench. Bruno Caboclo. What do we do with Bruno? He didn't.
He is still on his rookie contract. You can't.
So Bruno Caboclo, he stays.
Still developing.
Lucas Nogueira.
That's an interesting thing because him and Bruno are like BFFs. Like, and honestly, I think that's like the only reason you keep Bruno or you keep Lucas because they're both Brazilian. I don't know.
Well, no, it's a good point to bring up. They're both Brazilian. Bruno doesn't speak the best English, so it's good to have a fellow Brazilian on the team and kind of showing him the ropes and everything. And it's not like it's not like Lucas Nogueira and Bruno Caboclo are taking up many minutes. So
Lucas does need to improve, though.
oh, of course,
Yeah, he's capable.
for sure, he's keepable. Landry Fields.
He's his rookie or his contract's running out, so
Yeah, just get rid of Landry Fields.
I'm interested to see if he retires though.
Really?
Yeah,
You're thinking Landry Fields might retire?
he's a really smart guy, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he finds another career. Plus, he has a really good-looking wife.
Fair enough. So Landry Fields, no matter what happens to him, yes or no, he'll be all right.
A math professor at a university.
I could.
Or Stanford.
If Landry Fields becomes a math professor, I will be so happy by that. All right, Chucky, big Chuck Hayes.
I think his time in Toronto is finished.
Yeah, let's get rid of Chuck Hayes. Like, I don't really. It's not that I don't like Chuck Hayes.
He's a really nice guy. It's just the Raptors can do a lot better talent-wise.
Oh, of course, I agree with you. So I say get rid of Chuck Hayes, and same goes for Greg Steemsma.
Steemsma's another Raptor who has a really good-looking, it's either girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, he's an honor. He's easily one of those players that you can just
drop him.
He played 5 minutes this season.
5 minutes total. I always loved the garbage time when Steemsma would come on and Baby Nogueira would be on the court and Bruno. Remember when Bruno made his debut?
Oh yeah,
that was one of the best moments in Raptors history. The crowd went wild.
Bruno.
And then wasn't his first basket an alley-oop finish?
It was
or was it
I think it's it may have been.
He had
either that or it was a 3-pointer.
He had a 3 and he had an alley-oop finish.
Yeah.
Remember a few years ago, speaking of debuts and returns, remember when Reggie Evans started after he was injured and he had I think 3 rebounds and 2 points? Then he was hustling so hard that he got down to the other end of the court and just fell down and was panting. It was hilarious.
Oh boy.
This is many, many years ago.
Oh, we're not finished with the Raptors yet. We still have one person remaining. And his name's Dwayne Casey.
Oh, of course. I didn't think to bring up Coach Casey. Do we keep Dwayne Casey or do we get rid of him?
I'm done with him as well. I have a feeling that Masai Ujiri is going to keep him, but I don't know. The thing is, he's a defensive specialist coach.
He is.
And the Raptors went from being 10th in the NBA last season in defense to 23rd this season. I don't know. It's just... And, you can't really blame the assistant coaches. I know they got rid of Sterner and Bano, but the thing is, Casey's had, 10 assistant coaches during his time in Toronto. Obviously, you need to think about, maybe it's not the assistant coach's problem. It's the actual head coach.
The head coach. But it's tough, though, because how many coaches have the Raptors had in their history?
Do we need to count?
They've had so many coaches, so it's... is it a matter of figuring out what can work? Or is it a matter of just trying out a new coach and seeing if they work?
I have this feeling that this is going to be another Sam Mitchell situation. How when Sam Mitchell got fired 10 games into the season, I think it might be something like that. I think Masai might give him 10, 20 games. And if the Raptors are still performing like crap, then
they get rid of him.
Yeah.
Bring back Sam Mitchell.
No. And if they do hire assistant coaches, they need to hire someone that's really good that could replace Casey.
Exactly, because you look at when Sam Mitchell was fired, they brought in Jay Triano to replace him, and Triano wasn't much of a head coach.
No offense to him. But
no offense to him. Yeah, of course. No offense to Jay Triano.
He's doing a solid job with the Blazers, being their assistant.
But Jay Triano's a guy who's always meant to be an assistant coach and not a head coach. So you need to surround Casey with some assistants that have the potential and who will be future head coaches.
Well, now it's official. The Cavs are going to the NBA Finals.
Indeed it is. 118-88 the final. Yikes. Cleveland sweeps Hotlanta. Not so hot. The fans are on their feet in Cleveland.
Oh, are they? They're so happy, these Cavs fans. Just being a lottery team for 4 years, and then LeBron comes back, and
it's almost like it was all planned. LeBron was like, you know what? I'll let this team get some good draft picks, and then I'll come back. And
exactly. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was his plan.
And I'm just gonna go play with. Well, as far as conspiracy theories go, that's one's not too far out there because he went to play with two of his closest friends, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. They dominated, and he goes back to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Dellavedova, how about him? Like he kind of just came out of nowhere.
He's had a lot of stuff talk about him in his playoffs from that Taj Gibson incident.
Yep.
Where he hooked his legs on Taj Gibson, and Gibson was the one who got ejected because he slightly kicked Dellavedova.
Oh, that was ridiculous. What did
Kevin Love.
Oh, there he is. Kevin Love. Kevin Love is loving life.
Is he? He's basically, let's talk about Kevin Love, actually.
All right, let's do it.
Do you think he resigns? And not even that. Do you think the Cavs want him back? Look what just happened. They just went to the NBA Finals without him for basically 3 rounds.
Honestly, if I'm being completely straight with you, I forgot that Kevin Love was part of the Cavs.
Yeah. Like that was the
you look at someone who, like Tristan Thompson, who's really coming into his
free agent.
Yeah, well, if they re-sign Tristan Thompson,
here's the thing: they have enough money to re-sign both.
Yeah.
But do you sign Kevin Love, or do you possibly go after LaMarcus Aldridge?
I say re-sign Tristan Thompson and go after LaMarcus Aldridge and get rid of Kevin Love.
Oh God, I don't even want to think about that. Starting lineup of Irving, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Tristan Thompson, and Aldridge. Dear Lord.
Yeah, that's something that's going to be tough to conquer. But on the bright side, Tristan Thompson is a Canadian boy, so Go Canada.
Maybe the Raptors should at least try.
The Raptors need some Canadian blood in their rotation because you brought up Jamal McGlure. When he came to the Raptors, Jamal McGlure, great guy and a great ambassador for the city of Toronto.
He was basically retired, though.
He didn't do anything with the Raptors. So I kind of like to forget that Jamal McGlure was the first ever Canadian to play for the Raptors because he didn't do anything.
Maybe if he came to the Raptors after his stint with Charlotte, would have been great. But
oh yeah, because the Big Cat had some good years playing for Charlotte.
So he made the All-Star team once.
Oh yeah, do you remember Jamal McGlure, Jamal Mashburn? Baron Davis, yeah.
I've always liked the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, I know you have.
Oh yeah.
I said that like I was disapproving it. Oh, I know you have, and it disgusts me. Okay, so we're gonna see Cleveland at Golden State. Who do you got for the NBA Finals? Who do you think's winning the title this year?
I think it's gonna be Golden State. They're gonna end that drought. The city of Oakland hasn't won a championship in the NBA, NHL, MLB since 1989.
Yeah, so they're putting an end to it. And Steph Curry, it's just his year. It's his time.
And this is actually the two sports towns, Cleveland and Oakland, the two sports towns that have the biggest drought in like winning a championship. Like I was saying, the Cavs or Cleveland, they haven't won a championship since 1968 when the Cleveland Browns, the NFL team, won.
That's true.
And the Oakland A's won in '89. So
it's going to be a good series.
One of those teams is going to end a drought.
Yeah, it's going to be a good series for sure. Curry versus LeBron.
Thing is, who's going to cover LeBron? Draymond Green, who is a solid defender. He was actually pissed off that he didn't win a Defensive Player of the Year.
He was, and he was actually pissed off that he wasn't an All-Star. I think he would have. It would have been fair to make him an All-Star.
And another thing I don't get about the Cavs is why is Kyrie Irving playing in Game 4 when they basically have the series swept, and they obviously need him to rest for a guy like Steph Curry, who he's going to match up against.
I don't know.
Like that could be a huge factor in the Warriors winning the championship this year.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
Steph Curry is just going to go off.
Oh, Steph Curry is gonna. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Like, you watch this Game 4, and Kyrie Irving is just walking basically.
Yeah, I think it would have been a smart move to rest Kyrie Irving.
Not even this game. He should have rested after Game 1.
Because Cleveland still would have won the series, you think?
Obviously. And if it took till Game 5 to win the series, then whatever. So you're saying the Warriors are going to win?
Yeah, I'm thinking Warriors are going to win.
In how many games, though?
I'm saying 6 or 7. I could see the series going to 7 games.
7? I don't know. I say 6.
Say 6? Say a hard 6?
And possibly 5. There's that huge matchup with Irving and Curry.
Mm-hmm. But so you think Green is going to be the one guarding LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah. Harrison Barnes.
Even Harrison Barnes.
You were really high on Harrison Barnes before he got drafted. You wanted the Raptors to pick him up.
Yep, and that's why they call Terrence Ross Coin Toss Ross, because the Raptors were a coin toss away. You know how the Warriors and the Raptors finished the same record? They have to do a coin toss.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Raptors finished with the 8th pick, and the Warriors finished with 7th pick.
Mm-hmm.
And they picked Barnes, and we got the lovely Terrence Ross.
Yeah, we got the future All-Star Terrence Ross.
The man who's only known right now for his 51 points game and the dunk contest.
Yep.
Anyways. Oh, man. But obviously, we don't know how the Warriors-Rockets series is going to end.
Yeah, we don't know that for sure. This is just all a prediction.
But it's highly unlikely that the Warriors are going to lose 4 straight games.
Yeah, I can't see the Rockets. Yeah, I can't see the Rockets pulling that off.
Maybe if Steph Curry actually did injure himself in that gruesome play.
But thankfully, he did not.
Yep.
Steph Curry. Who would have thought that Dell's baby boy would be the best shooter on the planet?
It's incredible.
And, Klay Thompson, too. Klay Thompson, who really came into his own this year. The Splash Brothers. That backcourt is amazing.
And he actually hasn't had that great of playoffs, but I think he'll turn it up for the finals.
Oh, I think so, too. That wouldn't surprise me.
And how about Steve Kerr? His first season with the Warriors, and they win all these games in NBA Finals. I think what's it going to be is... if they win the championship, it's going to be his 6th NBA championship total when you count his playing career.
Wow, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Also, another thing I'm looking forward to is on the broadcast booth. How Mark Jackson's going to be calling the game. The NBA Finals, I mean.
Oh.
It's going to be... I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
It's good.
A couple of weeks ago, he was taking credit for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Oh, really?
Becoming the best guards in the NBA.
Oh, boy. We both say if it is Golden State, Cleveland in the finals, we got Golden State. You got him in 6. I've got him in 6 or 7. Raptors have to make some big moves during the offseason. So there's going to be some shakeups. Or there may not be. We don't know for sure. But at the end of it all, the Raptors played some of the worst basketball I've ever seen anyone ever play in the NBA playoffs this year. They were horrendous. And the thing is, last episode we were kind of bashing Paul Pierce. But Paul Pierce has the right to say whatever the hell he wants to say now.
Did you hear the reports of him possibly opting out of his contract with the Wizards and signing with the Clippers?
Really? Oh, to reunite with
I
Doc.
honestly feel he should have signed with them last offseason. Because that's basically what the Clippers were probably missing in this playoffs. Remember, they had those two. They beat the Spurs in 7 games. That's probably the best series I've seen all playoffs.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
There hasn't been one NBA series in this playoffs that has matched that series.
Yeah. No, that's correct. I think so too.
Every game went down to the wire pretty much.
Yeah, so close. So close.
It was... I actually thought the Clippers maybe turned it around. Like, they might actually go to the conference finals, maybe sniff the NBA finals, but that's what they were missing. Their bench was terrible, and they needed a Paul Pierce.
Because Paul Pierce, he talks a lot of trash, but the thing is he backs it up. He proved that in the first series against the Raptors. He backs up his trash talk.
He could play, 5 minutes in the game, but just put him there the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and you got your money's worth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's too bad that he almost had that game winner, but they called it that it wasn't released before the buzzer.
That sucks.
Yeah, I actually like the Wizards. It's because the Raptors played so poorly. I have nothing against the Wizards. The Wizards were the much better team. 100% they were the better team, and they deserved to move on to the second round. So nothing against the Wizards. There's no...
They probably would have beaten the Hawks if John Wall was 100%.
Exactly. But no hard feelings against the Wizards. Like, once that game was over, that game 4 was all finished, I was just upset with the Raptors. I was like, well done, Wizards. You guys deserve that. So you deserve to move on to the second round. The Raptors did not deserve to go on to the second round after playing so poorly. But I agree with you. They probably could have beaten the Hawks if John Wall had been 100%.
Yeah, and the fact that Paul Pierce 3 of that didn't count away from going to Game 7. It seems like just fun talking about other teams that actually try, unlike the Raptors.
Yeah, it really is, and it's funny because we're both huge Raptors fans. This is the thing; we're both very strong supporters of the We the North campaign, big time Raptors fans. But
Terrence Ross rips his fans when there's thousands there outside the ACC cheering them on. Is he serious?
Yeah, what exactly did he say again? Do you remember?
He also said this was the best team in franchise history. Does this brain not comprehend the 2001 team that went to the second round and was one shot away from going to the conference finals? Does brain not comprehend that?
It's the only Raptors team to move on past the first round in the NBA playoffs.
Terrence Ross, he's...
You know what? Because you bashed you.
No. The fact that he had nothing to do with this best team in franchise history that he speaks of. He needs to get his head out of his ass.
Boom! Nard Dogg truth bomb. That's before you kind of got on Terrence Ross before me, and I sort of supported him. But after seeing the way he played, I'm totally on your side. Terrence Ross needs to go. He should not be suiting up for the Raptors.
And
really,
professionally, I just don't give a shit what I say about Terrence Ross anymore because I just don't like him as a basketball player. I don't know how he is in his personal life. He's just, I don't want to see him on the Raptors anymore.
Very sour taste. I agree with you. Terrence Ross has got to go. That's the bottom.
There's talk about him doing some pro-am, league thing in Portland this offseason instead of working on his actual basketball game. This is the kind of guy who should be in the weight room every single day. He should be on the basketball court shooting shots and playing. He just doesn't. The thing about Ross is he likes the basketball lifestyle. He just doesn't like the actual game of basketball.
The actual work that needs to be put in to improve your game.
And he's in for a reality check when he's out of an NBA contract.
Yeah.
And if he does stay with the Raptors, this is going to be his contract year. He's going to actually have to show some effort.
Oh, exactly. And
even if it's not with the Raptors, he actually shows some effort with the other team, so he wants to be in the NBA for another couple seasons or so.
Exactly, and I don't know if he's capable of doing that. If he were to be sent away from the Raptors, I don't know how much playing time he'd get with another team. He's just going to be a wayward journeyman. Watch 10 years from now, we see a ESPN documentary, tragedy, the tragic tale of Terrence Ross.
Oh boy!
I know you'd watch that.
The tragedy of him playing PS4 24/7 and liking Instagram pictures 24/7. That's actually who he is.
Then you look at a guy like DeMar DeRozan, who's in the gym all the time, and he's
probably in the gym right now.
He's always working on his game. I'm a huge DeMar DeRozan fan.
And the fact that some people actually think that Terrence Ross has more talent than DeRozan.
Oh, people actually think that? No, that's not true at all. DeMar DeRozan is the best player on the Raptors.
Terrence Ross was given 21 games this season while DeRozan was out to show what he's got in the starting lineup. And he actually managed to play worse. If there's any Terrence Ross fanboys out there, that's all you need to see right there.
Exactly.
He was given a shot to play really well, and he screwed it up. I also feel sorry for the NBA fans, Raptors fans, that actually bought Terrence Ross's jersey.
Ooh. But yeah, so as I was saying, Nard Dogg, there's going to probably be quite a few changes to the Raptors staff and their roster. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Raptors during the offseason.
There's 7 players that are becoming free agents on the team.
It's pretty big. It's a big offseason for Toronto, and a lot needs to be done just looking at their play during the postseason, how terrible it was. So,
They'll have 6 new players or so. It's 6 or 7 new players.
Let's bring back Hassan Adams. Remember Hassan Adams?
I can't believe when they signed him, I was actually pro Hassan Adams.
Were you also pro Will Solomon?
Well, he did have a good Euro career, but that just doesn't translate into the NBA for some players.
Man, the Raptors have had so many random players. When you think about it, if you look at their it just seemed like for a period I would always look in the newspaper and it would be Raptors sign Hassan Adams, Raptors sign Robert Archibald.
The Banger brothers, Robert Archibald and Lonnie Baxter.
Lonnie Baxter, one of the all-time greats.
Or was it Bang Bros? Oh, never mind. It's Banger.
Either way, hilarious.
Anyways.
The time is coming to wrap this episode of FCP up. We've covered everything that we wanted to cover. NBA Finals, the Raptors, Terrence Ross, Dwayne Casey, Lonnie Baxter. If you can get Lonnie Baxter thrown into an episode, then you know it's a good one. So.
Oh, Lonnie Baxter.
Oh, Lonnie Baxter. This one's for you, buddy. Lonnie Baxter, Chris Jeffries, Will Solomon, Hassan Adams, Robert Archibald.
Chris Jeffries. Is Terrence Ross the next Chris Jeffries?
That is the question that we leave everyone with. is Terrence Ross the next Chris Jeffries?
Oh, that would be such a disappointment.
We'll just have to see what happens in the Ballad of Terrence Ross.
Did you say ballot?
The Ballad of Terrence Ross, yes. All right, Nard Dogg. Time to close things out here. Where can people find you online? The usual plugs.
You can find me on Twitter at the Nard Dogg 88.
The Nard Dogg 88, and the same goes for Instagram, right? Or you changed your Instagram name recently, didn't you?
Yeah. I changed it to just David __ Bernardi.
David __ Bernardi. All right, you can find me on both Instagram and Twitter at JustinGoulet21. And you could check out all past episodes of Full Court Press on Mixcloud.com and on YouTube. We're on YouTube now. But no, there is no video feature, no video component to it. It's just the still image and our audio. But we are on YouTube, Full Court Press. Thank you for tuning in to FCP. Nard Dogg, as always, it's been a pleasure, good sir.
It's always a pleasure doing Full Court Press.
Always having a time.
It's a privilege. It's always good to have a time and just talk basketball, you know?
Damn right it is, Nard Dogg. I love talking basketball with you. So keep the basketball movement alive and strong, Full Court Press Nation. We thank you as always. Until next time, we are out.
Cheers.
You've just been hit with Full Court Press. Courtesy of the men, the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg and Raindrops. Goulet!